so it won't bother you. So today's practice is about actually the how to generate the Shakti of Surya, how to generate the energy of the solar plexus so that you're aligned with the sun. And you know, we all are solar powered beings, you know, with whatever you take, the water, whatever you take, the fruit, whatever the vegetable that you take, is what you actually tapping is into the prana of that energy. Now, prana is a life force, which in yoga, we talk a lot about prana. So this is a sacred space that to attach into those energies when we are depleted by those energies, especially when we are forced down into spaces like these. And if we cannot go out, and if we don't get the vitamins that we need that generate by the sun, it's lacking. But you still can tap into that energy consciously. Wherever you get that energy consciously, you can really generate that energy throughout the body. And for me, I generate that energy a lot on my solar plexus so that it will help with my liver, pancreas, my kidneys, just to get that flow. And also the energy of the heat actually generate and get rid of flame, get rid of that mucus, so that the passage of the nostril, not only that, actually to flow the energy of the body, it is much more important. So I will highly recommend for you after this practice to have a warm cup of tea or warm tonic rather than cold water. And so today we are going into the practice in this level, but also the deeper level of the spirituality. I will tell why, as humans, that we need to consciously change from our old world into the new level of understanding. Now, a chair cannot be other than a chair, or a table cannot be, but human beings are born with that unknown capacity, and then they are given a label and identity. So they choose a job, they choose a pattern, they choose the same direction to come home, and they get into this repetitive loop. Now, consciousness is we become conscious about it, and we become aware about it, so that we don't go to the judgment and the praise, and we gently allow ourselves to become free from that. Now, I will introduce that also in the practice today. And also the energy of the sun, and how to generate that energy towards the body, towards the home, towards the plants, towards the food, just becoming conscious of it. All right, now, very gently, Hi, Kalina. Shrug the shoulders up, take a deep breath in, and breathe out and relax. Couple of more times, just to release that tension, that whether you were forcing into the practice, whether you got up out of the bed, whether you want to just shake that pattern out of the body, and giving a free page to the body and the mind to start the movement. Couple of more times. Now very gently take that deep breath in and bring the palms onto the pranayama position, and very gently interlacing the fingers and palms, very gently stretch up to the ceiling. Now holding onto the left wrist, and allow that left wrist to be open up, left palm to be open up, and very gently stretching towards the right. Now pull the belly in. Try to keep the elongation of the spine happening. Breathing in back to the center. Holding onto the right and right wrist, right palm opening up, armpit opening up, very gently stretching towards the left, keeping that right rib open, the right rib cage open, back to the center. And breath out, spread the wings wider. Wider, 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 wider. Onto the floor. Onto the back of the floor. Shoulders relax and elevate the space of the heart. Now very gently take that deep breath in and push your fingers into the back and try to very gently relax the shoulders. Now, if you have any tension on your forearm, bicep, this will indicate that. So very gently push that wrist back and very gently try to elongate the spine and go back a little bit from the torso. Now, if any restrictions comes, then you have to ease out, bend the elbows and relax a little bit just to open up, so that especially people who have that triggering finger or somewhere that you have that tightness in a finger or a wrist or a certain part of the wrist, this will very gently allow you to relax and breathing into that space. Especially people who are doing the same work over and over again. For me, it's chopping and chopping. Some of you, it might be typing. So very gently relax, come back into the center. Now very gently coming into the front, palms onto the floor, onto the knees. So very gently, I will change the direction of the camera towards Darren. So we are going to start with the Surya namaskara. So gently bringing your knees down and palms onto the floor and stretching the bum up to the ceiling and holding onto the opposite elbows, very gently opening up that space of the hip, space of the spine. Shoulders relax and chest open. Now very gently waking up the spine. When Daza is ready, he will do it. Wake up the spine one vertebra at a time, shoulders relax and chest open. Very gently coming up, up, up. Now coming into the front of the mat because you're doing the Surya namaskara. Now take that deep breath, palms onto the pranayama position. Take that deep breath coming into the space of the solar plexus, activating that energy. Breathing in, reaching up to the ceiling. Gentle arch. Breathe out, reach and touch the floor. So reach forward, 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 reaching. And very gently touching the floor. Now take that deep breath, head down, neck down. Left leg up into the back. If you can't, left foot into the back onto the floor. Now take that deep breath, bend that back knee, shoulders relaxed, chest open. Now into a breathing in, into a plank. Very gently drop the knees, stretch the spine into the back. Now very gently deepening the practice through your breathing, but very gently using the practice, not depending on your conditioning part of the model. Now you're becoming aware about the mental levels that are changing because of your conscious. Emotional levels are changing into the level of the heart. And that other level is the level of the gut, penetrates totally of your being that you can experiencing. So I talk about a gut a lot. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest onto the floor. Do that crawling, drop the belly. Please keep that in the mind. These things are that we are teaching are metaphorical. Breathing in into a gentle cobra. You're using the concepts, you're using the tools to go beyond. So don't use the practice too much rigidity. So allow that awakening to happen, completely liberated from all levels of the condition. Now very gently relax, breathe out very gently onto a down face. So onto the knees, onto the down face. Now very gently left leg up into the back, left foot into the front. Looking up, push the hips down, shoulders roll back. back leg up, back foot into the front, head down, neck down, arms stretch into the back, bending the knees, arms raise onto the crown, bending the knees, arms raise onto the crown. Little bit more onto the crown, keep that energy, activate the solar plexus. So kind of like a burning sensation. Breathing in, gently coming up. Palms onto the pranam position. Just sit and allow this authentic moment to awaken. The spirit is completely liberated on all levels, all at once. Suddenly you have become aware and awakened to a new way of living, a way of perceiving, new way of looking at the body, not just my body, but the energy of a body that is like a sun. So breathing in, palms relax onto the sides. Very gently allow the static to release the conditioning parts of the mind, conditioning parts of the emotions, conditioning parts of that existential level of the gut. Breathing in, palms onto the pranam position, breathing in, reaching up. Gentle arch, all opening up the armpits, not crushing the back, but space in the back and the spine. Breathe out, reach and touch the floor. Head down, neck down, breathing in, right leg up into the back. Right foot onto the floor, into the back. Lengthening to look into the front. Push the hips forward, bring the hips down a little bit more, into a plank. Stronger on the pelvic floor, head down, not head up. Drop the knees, stretch the spine into the back. Breathing in, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Breathing in into a cobra or up face. Breathe out towards a down face. Six deep cycles of the breath, very gently generating the energy of the heart. Hatha yoga comes from the energy of the ha is the sun and the tha is the moon, the energy of the sun and the moon. Ida and the Pingala Nadi, male and the female energy. So they all are levels of energy. But what is important is this level of energy when it is more strong on the sun or more strong on a full moon or a new moon. If you're not prepared yourself, it can actually generate and become more of you. So if you're more of spiritual, it becomes more of spiritual. If you're more of crazy, it becomes more crazy. Breathing in, right leg up into the back. So there is a preparation that you have to prepare yourself consciously. Right foot into the front, breathe out, breathing in, left leg up. Left foot into the front. Arms stretch into the back, breathing in, arms raise onto the crown, gently coming up, palms onto the pranam position. Now very gently, observe. But your karmic tendencies are to pull itself back. It never goes all the way back to where it is started, because you're awakened. But the karmic tendency is going into the habitual thoughts, habitual emotions, habitual past, habitual sadness. Relax the arms. Approach this moment. Very gently bringing that solar energy into the space of the solar plexus. Retract that certain level of that energy that can happen. But it is now happening with a very conscious awakening. Breathing in, palms onto the pranam position. Breathing in, reaching up. Gentle arch. Breathe out, reach and touch the floor. Breathing in, lengthen into look up, left leg up into the back. Now very gently left arm reaching into the front up to the ceiling. Chandrasana, half move. Left reaching into the back, touch the floor. Left foot into the back, lengthening to look up. Plank, strong on the pelvic floor. Drop the knees, stretch the spine. Palms facing up. Let's begin to looking what is happening at this level. Mind is in the space of awakening into the experience of the realization. But the experience is exactly what I am talking about. It's not without the division in the level of the mind. Otherwise, you're constantly going from good to bad, right to wrong. Have I done it correct? Should I have done this way? Polarity of the mind, because it's a tool. It is wherever you use it, it is there to be used, but not to get used by it. That's what is awakening is. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Drop the belly, breathing in into a cobra. Shoulders relaxed, chest open. And being without the conflict. Should I do this? Not the past saying, should I not do this? To have a divided mind is to have a mind of conflict itself. That's where the whole world is. So I'm answering all these emails and the text. Relax. Breathe out towards the down face. Head down, neck down. Very gently. Not about worthy or unworthy, not about between enlightenment and unenlightenment. Coming into that practice of without the polarity, without the separation. Left leg up into the back. Left knee to the left chest, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Left knee to the left elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Left knee to the right elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Left foot into the front. Look up. Back leg up. Right arm reaching up into the ceiling. Pull the belly in, even using a block. Right reaching into the back, touch the floor. Back foot into the front. Arms stretching to the back. Arms raise onto the crown. Sit deeper. Take a moment. Don't come up yet. Push the feet properly onto the floor, grounding yourself. Palms onto the pranayama position. Activate in the energy of the Surya. Doing the Surya Kriya. Doing the activity of the sun. Gently coming up. Palms relax. Taking that a moment that you're awakened. And that awakening is penetrating. That awakening is penetrating into the breath, into the mind, into the body. And it's revealed at the level of the mind, but you're seeing it much more than that. Remember, the real truth is not a structure of a thought. I'm not saying the mind is no value. I'm not saying that. It is a tool. Your engine in the car, when you get into the car or the dashboard, I'm not a driver, you know, it indicates things. But who takes the car? Who rides it? Who says that it's a fuel time? who says that alarm is for back door is open, and who attend to it. Palms onto the pranam position. Breathing in, reaching up, gentle arch. Breathe out, reach and touch the floor. Observe the breath in a deeper level of Ujjayana Pranayama. Right leg up. Now this time we are going to do a Paravita pose. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Left reaching into the back, touch the floor. Right foot into the back. Lengthening to look up into a plank. Drop the knees, stretch the spine on the breath out. Palms facing up. Don't get mistaken for something not real. Problem is you don't see the mind as a tool, but you see the mind as a source of a sense of a self. You see the mind as who you are. So you identify yourself with a tool that it's you. Most of you, when you write me the text, you're asking me, who am I, but on a mind level. What is life in a mind level? What is true in a mind level? Go and ask your screwdriver, what is the purpose of you? It cannot answer. Or if it has a memory, it will tell you last time you pull a nail or push a nail or whatever the use was. But is that the whole purpose of? People are looking into their minds and asking them, what should I do and what shouldn't I do? Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front, breathing in into an up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Breathing in, right leg up into the back, right knee to the right chest. Breathing in, stretch back, right knee to the right elbow. Breathing in, stretch back, right knee to the left elbow. Breathing in, stretch back, right foot into the front. Back leg up. Paravita Chandrasana, right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Pull the belly in and open up the chest, open up the hips. Stretch that leg, right reaching into the back, touch the floor. Back foot into the front. Bending the knees, sitting deeper. Arms stretch into the back. Arms raise onto the crown, sitting deeper. Feet is flat properly. Energy of the sun. Palms onto the pranam position, gently coming up. Now allow the energy to penetrate in the level of the mind, the level of the solar plexus. It is a tool that really can use, but it's not a reality. Thought is just a thought. Thought has no truthfulness. Thought has an idea of food, but doesn't mean you can eat it. Relax. Shake the legs and shake the arms and release the static. Feet together, palms onto the pranam position. Breathing in, reaching up, gentle arch. Breathe out, reach and touch the floor. Breathing in, lengthening to look up. Left leg up into the back. Left foot into the back. arms stretch into the back, arms raise onto the crown. 6 deep cycles of breath, Ujjayi Pranayama. Breathing in and getting the energy from the air. Buddha was time when he's practiced to become the Buddha, he was only taking the breath for a long period of time. Breatharian, because you can tap into the energy force of the air. Air is energy. Spread the wings widely to touch the floor. Lengthening to look up into a plank. Left knee onto the floor. Right arm reaching into the front, up to the ceiling. Observe the breath coming through the right nostril into the third eye, leaving out through the left nostril. Breathing in through the left nostril, into the third eye, out through the right nostril. Activating the both brain hemispheres to bring that balance. One is a logic, one is the state of consciousness, openness, liberation. Bringing the balance. Right, reaching into the back, touch the floor. Drop the knees. Completely breathe out to a cat. Anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Holding into that space, that the energy of the Surya. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, soft part of the palate, where the pituitary and the pineal gland is very gently touched. And into that space on. Releasing yourself from the trap in that various loops of thinking about thinking. Take this moment to awaken to the level beyond the mind. Breathe out to the cat. Anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Energetically holding that space. Breathing in. Very gently. Give a good rotation to the hips and awaken that space of your digestion, the gut. And very gently coming into that space of shaking off things. Releasing things. Because whatever you hold on the memory is you're holding on the gut. Whether it's a pain, whether it's a opposite to pain. Whether it's right or whether it's wrong. Awakening on the mind is a disruption to your entire world because it's something that we have never done it. You have to die into the old world to be born into the new space, onto the other side. Switch the spine into the back. What you're doing is you're taking a moment. You're using the energy of the sun, energy of that, to destroy your entire worldview about your conditions, the belief system, the structures. What you call world is a lot of information. Living, viewing things as true is not someone has given to you. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Shoulders relaxed, breathing in into up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Shoulders relax, head relax, neck relax. Awaken into all the parts that you're tightening from the mind level. Left leg up into the back. Left knee to the left chest, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back, left knee to the left elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back, left knee to the right elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back, left foot into the front. Arms stretch into the back. Arms raise onto the crown. Palms onto the pranayama position. Bend the knee, sit deeper. Not passing the front knee from the ankle. Adjustments can be done from the back foot. So take the back foot back a little bit if your knee going past the ankle. Turning onto the right side. Opening up onto the Virabhadrasana. Take a mudra and sit deeper. The greatest truth, the awakening of the Buddha, is that the Dharma are the very truth. He was speaking, but he was speaking of emptiness. The truth beyond in the great sutras and great ideas that could ever be spoken or written down or read. This is experience inwardly. Enlightenment is nothing to becoming a better. It is very destructive because you are letting go of all the things and the ideas. Who wants to be better? It might be the mind re-entering back again. Gentle arch. Breathing in very gently, coming back. Sitting deeper, elbow onto the knee. Right shoulder roll back and holding onto the sacrum. Just keep that right shoulder back without dropping into the right side. Overlooking into that side. Right reaching up to the ceiling now. Right reaching into the front, touch the floor. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Left reaching into the back, touch the floor. Back leg up. Breathe. Back foot into the front, breathe out. Head down, arms stretching to the back. Breathing in, arms stretching to the front, lengthening to come up. Gentle arch. Palms onto the pranayama position. So very gently, just allow yourself. Don't protect yourself from seeing the truth. There is no such a thing called enlightened thought. But your mind says, I want the truth. But do you really? Because when you become very honest, there's so much you have to cut yourself out from. You want to know the truth, but when the reality really happens, you want to run away from it. Or you say that I'm not ready for it. Or you will say it doesn't fit into my time now. It doesn't fit into my images. It doesn't fit into my thoughts. It doesn't feel great about it. There's nothing feeling great about enlightenment. Relax those arms. Come in and refresh your page again. I'm here as a teacher to provoke the energy of the mind. So it's actually destroy things that no longer serves you. Or what I'm going through the rubbish, but not to recycle, but to empty it. Breathing in, palms onto the pranam position. Breathing in, reaching up. Gentle arch. Breathe out, reach and touch the floor. Head down, neck down. Breathing in, right leg up into the back. Right foot into the back. Take a good step back so that we'll align the knee in the front properly. Arms stretch into the back. Arms raise onto the crown. 6 deep cycles of breath. Ujjayi Pranayama. What it does is, in this very moment, your ability to see the world in your own imagination is not there anymore. You're left totally empty-handed, nothing to grasp. As Jesus said, the birds have their nest in the trees, and the foxes have their holes in the ground, but the Son of the Man has nowhere to rest his head. There is no concept, no thought, structure, upon which you can rest. This is a total release. Plank, strong on the pelvic floor. Right knee onto the floor. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Observing the breath coming through the left nostril, into the third eye, out through the right nostril. In through the right, into the third eye, out through the left. Left reaching into the back, touch the floor. Drop the knee completely, breathe out to a cat. Anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Breathing in into a cow. Breathe out. Breathing in. Breathe out. Now a mind is a tool. And it becomes useful for something other than just thoughts. But what happens is you're using the tool just for the thoughts. Imagine your mind is free from the thought. Even you cannot imagine that because it's not conditioning you. Breathing in, drop the belly, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, energy gaze onto the energy of the Chiddakasha. Now a thought can arise from that silence. Speech can arise from that silence. Communication can arise from that silence. From a place far beyond than the mind. neutral spine. Give a good rotation to the hip and allow that energy to feel through that the device communicating with the gut, communicating with the heart. Now, whatever the learnings are, never fixate. It's also not a new belief. It's not a new ideology. Awaken doesn't belong to any of those. Onto the other side. Stretch the spine into the back. Palms facing up. Now, very gently, I'm touching a place. When you say you are hurt by certain things, a whole heart refers into your whole emotional system, your emotional body. To be awake on the level of that emotions are means no longer you're deriving from a sense of a self, from how and what we feel. If we feel good, if we feel bad, if we feel healthy, if we feel sick, if we feel awake, if we feel tired, we are no longer finding and deriving a sense of self through what we experience. Now we start to understand that what we feel does not tell us who and what we are. It tells us what we feel. That's it. What feel doesn't need to be avoided or denied, but it doesn't define us. When we are no longer defining self on the level of the emotion, your sense of the self is liberated from the level of the emotion, from the conflict of feeling that are on the emotional level. Because when you're saying angry, you're saying about the whole story about the anger. But just allow the anger to come up. I'm not saying not to be angry, but without that story. So the kettle boils. So it's great not to throw up that boiling water on someone, but making a cup of tea. But to make a cup of tea out of the boiling water, you have to have no identification to your story. So even your anger can serve. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front, breathing in into an up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Right leg up into the back. Right knee to the right chest, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back. Right knee to the right elbow, breathe out. Breathing in, stretch back, right knee to the left elbow, breathe out. Stretch back, right foot into the front. Take a good step into the front. Arms stretch into the back. Arms raise onto the crown. Palms onto the pranayama position. Bend the knees, sit deeper. Turn to the left. Take a mudra and opening up onto the Virabhadrasana. Now everything is greater to what it is unresolved in your being, to what you may or may not have seen through. Your bodies are great truth meters. As soon as you go into that emotional sense of the divisiveness, hate, envy, jealousy, greed, blame, shame, all the rest, you're perceiving from the state of division. These emotions that come from division are like little red flags, reminding you what you are not perceiving, the true nature of the thing. Does it make sense? Gentle arch. Breathe. Gently coming back into the center. Elbow onto the knee. Breathe. Maybe if you're struggling, you're just struggling because you're on the physicality. Try to bring the prana into it. Try to create space from it. Elbow onto the sacrum, just turning that left shoulder. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Left reaching into the front. Touch the floor. Right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Paravita. Into the back. Touch the floor. Back leg up. Back foot into the front. Arms stretching to the back. Arms rest onto the crown, sitting deeper. Palms onto the pranayama position, gently coming up. Very gently releasing the tanna, asha, vaide, krodha. Hate, envy, jealousy, greed, blame, shame. Because if you're touched by one of these things, you're not perceiving yourself. Because you're perceiving yourself from the division of the mind. Everything packaged from the past. When people say they want to see their future, what they want is a better package of the past. That's why they're still causing turmoil. Now, this is the opportunity to take a good look at the breath, the body, and energy. It is the entry point. Now, what you're looking here is their illusion, is their sense of separation. If your sense of separation, then you're unstable emotionally. And then when there is a heat, when there is the moon, when there is a full moon, it can promote that. You're not analyzing anything. You're looking at a more therapeutic approach. So you're dealing with that space of the emotion. Instead of talking about it. So that your emotions are not contracted anymore. It is allowing the nature to flow. So now your belief system about the thought and the emotions life is not your intellectual life. They are now very gently relax. Now shake those legs and shake those feet and release the tension of the body. Totally static of whatever has come up. So it's not about looking at emotion, call it's negative or it's positive. Now it's the time that you go to the underlying. What would the emotion say if it could speak? Now very gently, feet apart, bend the knees, sit deeper. Now this is the time to address the emotion without the state of the division. Practice is there to perceive things not from the division. Whenever you go into the division, there is some level of emotional conflict that you can feel because it's you versus the other. Country versus a country, black versus white, this versus this. I'm not going to say. I'm commonly answering all your questions. Ask yourself today, sitting deeper, in what way you are going into division at this very moment. What is causing this sense of separation, isolation? Some of you said that it is protectiveness. Is it? What is it that you're believing? What is the assumptions have you made are being reproduced in the body and made manifest as emotion? In this way, the emotions and the thoughts are linked. They are two manifestations of the same thing. They cannot be separated. So gently identify the thought behind the emotion or feeling. Most of you will say there isn't a thought behind the emotion. So just sit with the emotion. If the emotion could speak, what would it say? Not just the thought. Now you could start hearing the story. You could hear in the thoughts that were created on that emotion. Very gently inquire today about this. Bum onto the floor. Very gently, feet stretch into the front. Pull out the buttocks, bend the knees slightly. We are going to do a Paschimottanasana. Even we have done on the Surya namaskara these same exercises, but it's in a different level because your back of the legs is supported by something strong. Arms raised onto the crown. You can bend the knees if you cannot touch the toes. Breathe out, roll from the hips. Keep breathing and elongate the rib cage, elongate the spine, elongate the back of the neck, back of the head. Roll, roll, roll. Now you're no longer victim. Where did that separation happen? so and said this, so and so did this. And that very moment you are experiencing that internal division. Why do you experience the division? Because you are in an argument with the reality. Arms stretching to the front, gently coming up, palms onto the floor, into the back, lifting up the hips, feet pointing into the floor. Reality is simply what it is. As soon as you have anything in us that judge it, that condemns it, that says it shouldn't be, you feel your division has happened. Very gently coming back. Knees to the chest, breathe out. Breathing in, arms raised onto the crown. Feet stretch. Breathe out, knees to the chest. Breathing in. Breathe out. Breathing in. Breathe out. Breathing in. Breathe out. Knees to the chest. Now very gently rock the spine and lie down on the floor. Rock the spine and lie down on the floor. Arms stretch onto the shoulder heights. And drop your knees onto the left side. Very gently drop, 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 drop. Right shoulder blade on the floor, right elbow on the floor. Looking into the right side. Just see whether there's any division in this posture. What condemns, what holds the body, what holds the tightness. Deeper realm of your realization, you realize there isn't a justified reason to argue with the reality, because you'll never win the fight. Arguing with the reality, you'll never win the fight. Arguing the reality is a way to suffer, a perfect prescription for suffering. So if you're disturbed, you're disturbing yourself. The idea of you first has begun the division. Breathing in, gently coming back into the center. Breath out, dropping onto the other side. Most of the time, the argument is about 20, 30 years old. Is it worthwhile? You're trapped. You already experience the same pain over and over again. And when new things happen, you still go and provoke the wound. So it doesn't allow you to really heal, whether you go to this or that. It doesn't help you to deal with it. It's actually imprisoning you and it ties you, whatever it is that you're arguing with. So when next time what is the argument comes, you know it's a perfect prescription for suffering. We can talk about and gently release it verbally or in the thought. But we talk about not to store it, just to release it. Like a cough, take the tickle off the throat. Like a sneeze, clear the sinus. Breathing in, very gently coming back. Very gently bring that left knee onto the chest now. Relax the whole back of the body onto the ground. That's why we are supporting the ground. Holding onto the back of the thigh and stretching up to the ceiling right leg. Very gently stretching. Very gently releasing the tension of holding. Bringing that awareness now. Inquire your truthfulness in that emotion and allow the practice to go deeper, and the truth will reveal themselves. It is not an analytical process. It's experimental. True inquiry has no goals other than truth itself. Knee to the chest, completely breathe out. Now drop that knee onto the right side. Even with the support of a cushion, left arm stretch onto the floor, left shoulder blade dropping onto the floor, giving that space, not trying to heal or to stop you feeling unpleasant, but the inquiry. Inquiry cannot be motivated solely by the desire not to suffer. Now, I'm making the practice a little bit more harder because you're a group of people have attend solely on this teaching. So the impulse is not to suffer is understandable, but there is something else that must accompany a genuine inquiry, which is the desire and the willingness to see what is true, to see how yourself, putting yourself into that space so you can release from the conflict. Sometimes winning argument is another conflict itself. Who is taking the prize? Is it the ego winning? Knee to the chest, completely breathe out and release. Now, allow the feet to drop apart a little bit, allow the feet to point at each other, and when you're ready, invite the other leg. Holding onto the back of the thigh, flex and point and see. I want you to release yourself from the conflict. But who is releasing is not you. Nobody, no situation in your life has the power to do it. You see that your emotional life is a portal. It is giving you today, offering you an invitation to look into the depth of your being, to look to the awakened state. The state that is not trying to change or alter anything, but itself is a lover of truth. So please do not misinterpret what I am allowing you to experience. You are just observing the emotions that are any indications of divisions. But there are moments that one can be very sad without, or very happy without a division, without being divided, without being anything. Very gently, knee to the chest, and very gently dropping the knee onto the left side and allowing the right side to totally relax right shoulder. There are energy channels I am working through at the back of your spine. So we are giving this opportunity. So your inquiry, let it come back to the center, knee to the chest, very gently stretching the leg away and bringing both knees to the chest. Now give a good rotation. Now very gently allow the body and allow the state of your realization to inquire sincerely and discover that an emotion is not derived from that separate, then it's not based on illusion. Seeing this part of the practice today has opened you up to having a wide range of emotions today. So you're opening up, becoming a big space in which is the winds of different emotions can travel through your system. Also the energy levels of the Ida and the Pingala Nadi, also the energy of the water, energy of the heat, and let them all to flow. Now very gently rock the spine and coming into seating position. Now very gently take that deep breath in and twisting the spine to the left. Releasing the idea of who you are, that is a limitation and a separate. So then you have an image of yourself as somebody else, can be hurt or damaged or offended because your idea of you and the other. So bring this into space of oneness. So there is no division. Bring back into the center, shoulders relax, change the leg formation, twisting the spine to the right side. So go into this Vipassana meditation today, allowing it to investigate deeply, sense of self, without that separateness, without that illusion, without that little lie that we tell ourselves. A person that I imagine myself to be, that opens up to fear. Because that person we imagine ourselves to be also imagine that it can be hurt at any moment. That illusion, sense of self sees life is very dangerous. Breathing in, coming back into the center. Life can run out of money, life can run out of health. Is it really? Life can be unkind. Illusion after illusion with all this information. And then it brings conflict and pain and suffering. So you are feeling insecure even you have secured all those options. Because there is a separation and it can harm so easily. Palms onto the namaskara position in this realization. You don't have to have time. Just sitting just to feel this space. It automatically feels when you have worked with me with the work you have done. Gently touch the earth, respect for the earth, beloved Apo Tejo Vayo Patavi Dhatu, earth particles, air particles, heat particles, and all these energies in harmony. Every emotion can disrupt the harmony of it. Gently coming out of that physical practice, maintaining that realization throughout the day. Palms onto the namaskar position and chanting a single Om, like a lion's roar of a realization. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Shat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Namah. Namaste, beautiful soul.